Hello and welcome to this Lego City theme park display where today, well, we are actually going to be making, and you haven't read the title wrong, a Harry Potter / Winter Village display for 2026. Which means we're going to move one or two bits and pieces in anticipation, because obviously we're getting close to Christmas period now, so I want to start pulling all those sets out and get them on display. But I also want them to have them on display a bit more permanently next year as well. So, with that being said, let's get to it. So, it should be simple enough, he says. Good start as he trips over a base plate. We are moving the modulars to where that can't be seen, which is going to be there. That will then free up the Winter Village stuff when it comes back from being on display, obviously, over Christmas. And in today's upload, we are also going to be moving the Harry Potter stuff over. Now, there's a reason why. Is because I've been saying for a while, I don't know what to do with the Harry Potter track, with the bank and yada yada yada. Speaking to Jay, and bouncing ideas around as we do, supposedly, this thing here fits at the bottom of a Kallax. And then obviously that one, by the skin of its teeth, does fit on top, supposedly. So what we'll be able to do is have the Harry Potter stuff in the first bit, add the new Harry Potter Winter Village stuff next year to the Winter Village display. I much prefer the Winter Village stuff compared to the modulars. So then what you would see on camera all the time is, of course, all of those little bits and pieces. Now, I am in the process of pulling the Winter Village stuff out, and I have cleared some space up top. So this might be over a couple of days. It's not going to be the longest of uploads, but we'll just see how far we get in this first sort of little segment, because there is some modulars that will be used in a separate display, because if I can use the modulars, then they're not going to get sold. So they are literally, it's at that point now of where if I can't figure out what to do with them and make a display with them properly within a theme park setting, they're going to be sold next year. So that's why they're going where they're going for now. Now, I have got the option of using 4 of them straight away. So the 4 that I could use straight away potentially could be a cinema, it could be a police station, it's definitely going to be the diner, and it could be this beautiful thing just here, because this thing is gorgeous. Now, I have put these 2 in. It's 3 base plates deep per side with space across the back. Now, I think we are not actually 100% sure. I don't think we're quite 3 base plates wide, are we? So we're like 2.5 by 3. So I've got the option now to put in the assembly square across the back, and then just put 2 more in on the side, which, to be honest, I want to free up this bit here first, because I am thinking this is where the Harry Potter bit's going to go, maybe there and there, and the alleyway, or vice versa. And then we go into all the Wintry Village bits, and then there's more Wintry Village bits. That's what I'm thinking. But obviously that'll happen next year. So this is literally just a case of getting the rest of these bits and pieces off. I've got all the other Winter Village stuff underneath to take down. So it's just sort of going to be done as a triangle, really. But it's just making sort of use of it, because like I said, I've had these for a long time. I like them. I just cannot make these things work in a theme park setting. We've tried to, it's not ideal, we've tried to do different bits and pieces, and it's not worked. And now it is very much a case of, do I sell these and they fund bits and pieces for next year? So round you go to the back. Yeah, I've got to see how this is going to work, actually. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So it either, because if it looks nice, I will try and make a full street display and it'll be okay. because obviously I can, I don't know, because that spun round that way, like so, you get a gist of what could be there. Let's put the, just because it's beside me, let's put the next one in just down at the bottom. Like I said, I'm just not so much focusing on this as a display. I'm not really focusing on any displays at the moment, but it is a case of, is it going to work or not? We'll just, for ease, we'll move the restaurant down. Because that's just going to get tight, and I don't want to be damaging stuff for no reason at all. See, that looks, from a street, that looks really nice. The second you do that, it does look good. And then obviously, because that's 1.5, so I could put 1.5 in on this side, and I could just put another corner straight in. And then if I was to do that, I have got the option of just repeating that underneath it, because I think that actually looks nicer than. It's a shame that this isn't 3 base plates wide, because if it was 3 base plates wide, I would literally, how many studs off are we? It's never going to fit, I know, but if this was 3 base plates, I would bring that straight to the front, have a narrow gap, and then go back to back on the other side and just have a very, very tight street run. One at the end I don't think will work, so we might as well just have like a street to nowhere rather than blocking it off, because I think that would look cleaner. But I don't know if, because if I was to, no, I can't, it's not going to be, that's not going to work either. So we've got this, we've got the first shelf clear. Now we could go assembly square brought forward and the museum beside it, because it's 3. So I either go 2 1.5 side by side, or I go that half and a full, and then repeat that again underneath, and yeah, the rest will fit in, especially if I'm going to be moving some bits and pieces. So that's 1 box ticked. So now we can carry on with this with some with a little bit more pace. So as I mess around with the battery as per normal, I think I'm just going to grab what's closest. So we're going to go with the books, which is half a base plate, and then like I said, we're going to mess around at this point with the Harry Potter going across the top. I do like this half, I do like it. I think that does look nice actually. And as a street view with the trees and things, I think it's pretty enough. And then we need one brought up, and obviously it needs to be a corner unit, so it's crying out for the cinema. So we can plonk the cinema in, just looking how far the cinema is over to where I am, and that's not too far at all. And then if I can get it out, can I get that out easy enough? Yep, that's good. That's good. So yeah, it's just dependent on, like I said, if I can make these work, because it's not terrible. I think it's probably, the books is better than the townhouse. So yeah, those 3, because that's what it looks like from a distance. So that's not horrendous. And I actually think I prefer it utilising the space that way, as just two long lines. And then I could just pack it of minifigures on the inside, or think of something else. But there is very much potential that that one can go and be used, because obviously the cinema is a reference to DC. The bank, well, it gets robbed all the time with everything, doesn't it? So that can be used. So those two can come out. I have got the corner garage, which is obviously another one at the front, and I've got space. And if I wanted, stay at that, of other bits, so it would excuse me, it would tidy it up. But yeah, we'll just have to kind of see. But I need to just spend a couple of minutes pulling this museum out and just sort of moving it over there so it's just out of the way. And we're just now going to put in the Harry Potter to see if it will work with the track, because if it does, that will just be amazing. Because it just means the Harry Potter will be together and it will just lead into the Winter Village. Visually that looks very nice, and actually you can even see, because it's all lit up properly, you can actually see the person in the bank. And I've put a load of minifigures back down on there. I could now finally put some vehicles down on that bit and actually have that more of a, I don't know if that could be the entrance. Kind of what you walk, that is what you do when you walk in every single Universal. It's just the buildings, the shops. It just looks like you're in New York or something. So I could. And then if there's any more that would work as a gift shop, theme park type thing, I could pick another one up. But I'm not backtracking any of the ones that I've missed. Or it's a case of, like I said, they get sold. The ones I need to use just get used. And they go from there. But at least we know we can get that amount in. So like I said, I'll move the museum. We're going to focus on this bit now, and then what I'll do off camera is pull all the rest of the Winter Village stuff out. And then kind of got to figure out where the shadow box is going to go. But that might be a different day, different problem, different upload. So leave it with me, and then we will carry on with the Harry Potter. Right, space has been made, full shelf up top, and just enough, I think, for the stand underneath. And then I'm going to figure out if I do the alleyway up top or do the alleyway underneath. Because I could do the alleyway, track, bank, and then you see the track that way. And then it goes all into Winter Village, which might be a better way of doing it. I don't really think the shadow box is actually going to fit within this bit, but there is room for the shadow box. I've got an idea of where it can go. I might build the got to figure out I'm gonna have all the Winter Village stuff up top or the bits and pieces underneath. Like I said, that's literally next year's problem, so that won't be uploaded until 26. So yeah, let's go and get the Harry Potter. I'm gonna see what we can do, and then we'll finish it for today, and then I will carry on getting those rest of bits and pieces in. So the first thing is this bit of track just here, and if it's going to fit, because if it doesn't fit, then we're scuppered and it's not going to work. Basically, it's just not going to work. If it does fit, well, you're laughing, but you can rest in there, because the reason why I'm now doing this is that there's nothing I will get again for Harry Potter unless they do more alleyway. If they make the alleyway longer, fine, but I'm not getting any of the play scale stuff. I'm not getting any of that. I don't need any. I'm not going to get anything else if it's not in the actual theme park. And I've got bits linked to all three over at Universal, so I don't need anything else. So, see, I'm now going hands-free over a loft ladder. I've got you in one hand, this thing in the other. You know, it'd be a lot easier if I just do it how other people do. Just go, just go, da-da, I've done it. My knee. Right, so, I'm now balancing you. Moment of truth. Oh, that's a problem. We have a problem. Does that actually fit? No, it doesn't. Oh. Do I have to take these bits off? Oh dear. Oh no. Hang on. Does it fit like that? Oh, it does. That's ridiculous. Literally one piece. Oh, really cracked my knee. Hang on, I'm going to stand on top of my wardrobe. Right, there's bit number 2. Bit number 3. Bit number 4. Right, it's the wrong way, but it goes in. So that actually just looks like it's holding up Ninjago. So that doesn't look bad at all. So that looks actually pretty cool, to be fair. But we want that underneath, and we want the bank on top. So it's how it should be. And probably want it like that. So there's four bits for that. But I don't think I can actually physically get it in the bottom because of this. So I don't know if I'm going to have to incorporate that with like the shadow box somewhere, because that is definitely not going to tip. Not going to, there's no way I can do anything to get that in. That is an absolute non-starter. That has just scuppered quite a bit. I don't know if I can make that snowy. I don't know if that looks alright from further afield. It might do. But it defeats the object completely. The only thing I can think of doing, it'll fit there. It's not what I really wanted to do, but do we incorporate as part of a ride into the Winter Village and make it snowy-ish, because it's the ride to the bank. I did kind of want it this bit separate from the Winter Village, but you can't go there. Basically can't go in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 32 by 32 is not going to go in. Oh, sure, that's a lie. The top 2 it will. The top 4, but the bottom 3 it won't. But it'll go where the police station is. So if I want that on show, and then start to wrap the other bits and pieces around it, it would go in the middle. So I really wanted it over this way, or it goes over there. If it goes over there, it basically goes where the diner is, and it's completely off corner, and it's completely hidden. But it fits. So the next thing we need to try anyway is, does the other thing fit? You can stay there this time, because that was painful. You can stay there. Does the other part of it fit? I think I'm actually bleeding through my trouser, I'm not going to lie. That is nice and cold as well. Right. It's going to take me too long to grab it. You have to bring you back up. You know, when I said it's just going to be a simple swap over. Never as simple as it. So, the Gringotts Bank. I don't think Gringotts is used in the Christmas scene at all, is it? So you step from here, that's what you're going to see on camera. You're going to see the Winter Village stuff. I was going to put the Winter Village stuff there, and across the top. And then that bit was going to be the stand. Because obviously when you stand here, you can't see it, but as I walk around, you can. Oh, that's really annoying. Right, I'm going to grab this out, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with that bit, and then that'll be the end of day number 1, I think. This isn't ideal, but we're going to have to do both at the same time with the alleyway, and then I'm just going to see if it fits for sizing, and then we will have to move it when the rest of the Winter Village stuff moves, because I also want to see if I can get that fit in there. That's smaller, so that'll fit in there. I just want to see if I can get all 4, where are you? All 4 of these in here, because if they're not going to, because I've got a big overhang on that, because these aren't technically 2 base plates deep. So if I can get the next one in, brilliant. If I can't, well, it's completely buggered everything, hasn't it? So let's just see if we can go from one section to another. There's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I think I want to put the Harry Potter Christmas stuff with the Winter Village stuff. I think it looks smart, but I don't want to have it too far spread from this. No, nowhere near. Nowhere near. Oh, this isn't going very well, is it? Even with the overhang bigger up top. Got a big overhang, so I thought with this overhang I would have a base plate of space, because that looks like I have. But yeah, see, all bar a stud or two, because it's so far away from the wall. But maybe it's this bit of wood again. Oh well, I'm in serious trouble then. So that's not going to fit there either, but we can get all 4 of those in. So it looks like Harry Potter's going to have to go the other side, and what I'm going to have to do is put where the Natural History Museum and the diner is, I'm going to have to put the alleyway on this bit where the History Museum is, and then put the stand where the Natural History Museum is, and then put the Diagon Alley, and above the stand do the bank, or vice versa. So the stand goes in the far corner. Oh, I don't know. Or do I plonk it up in the middle and then have the Winter Village stuff either side? Well, I'm going to sleep on that, think about it, and then actually get it placed when it's all empty, because I can just pull it all out, just get those in on this bit, pull them down so it's not a problem. And then once it's in, it's not moving. Because obviously now it can only go in the certain places, and these Winter Village stuff is so much smaller. I could plonk it there, and I will see it every time I come up the loft ladders. It'd be to my left hand side, so I could maybe where underneath you put some of the smaller, like the little dioramas. Interesting. It's always a problem. It's because the Star Wars Death Star went in like a treat, and now this isn't going to work how I thought it was going to. So that can stay there for now, and I'll catch back up with you in a few days. So we are back at it. I've made a little bit of space to put this into basically another cube, because obviously there's no winter stuff coming in this year. Now, this has to take priority with regards to being repaired. So I'm going to leave it easy accessible, because this front door is absolutely knackered. However, it's in a queue because I have to get the Ninjago City Markets built as soon as possible, because that's on the discontinued list. I want to make sure there's no missing pieces, because now I'm panicking because my sticker sheet wasn't there. So I need to ring them up tomorrow and order a sticker sheet and just make sure that there's nothing else missing. But as you can see, as it's starting to come out, this door is in, well, it's off there. It's not attached in the middle. It's broken in that bit. It's just one of those where it's been moved so many times. yeah, it's just feeling very, very sorry for itself. So if I can take it off in bigger chunks, like so, we then hopefully can get it out smoothly enough, and I can basically put it over there. So that's where it's going to be going. So I'm casting a shadow putting that like there, but I've got no choice. So you've got my head in the way. But yeah, that's going to be my priority now, to get this repaired. But I need to get the other one built, and I don't know how long this is going to take. So I might have to take all this apart with regards to the door, and then plonk it back. Plonk it back together. So obviously if this falls from the bottom, it's gone, and that would not be good because I'm on these loft ladders. But for now, because I don't know if I can actually get away with that being there but pushed to the back, and then have the Winter Village stuff as a line in front of it like I did, and just carry on. So Winter Village in front, add that as a bit of an Easter egg, or I put this up with my Marvel DC thing, because with it closed it takes up hardly any space. I mean, we know that, look how skinny that thing is. So maybe it will it'll have a new lease of life, but it's not doing any harm there, so that's good. So that came out okay. We've got the bikes and the cars and things that we are going to be taking a much larger interest. It's going to be a, like I said, a rather heavy diorama Marvel DC year next year, either with the stuff that I've already got, or potentially other little bits and pieces. But you can see how the door, it just basically all needs to be rebuilt, I think. So that's what we're gonna end up doing in one of the live streams. It might just be a full weekend one. I might do that on just a random Sunday, or start doing it, to be honest, when it's ready to go into its position. Because if I am going to do what I think I might do, which is going to be rather interesting, I then have to make that decision of yeah, it's too much of a nicer set for me, and it's also so controversial for people that I don't want to hide it. I want it underneath the artwork. That's why I wanted it here. I don't want it underneath. There are two options. Winter Village stuff in front with some nice little smaller Winter Village diorama bits, or it gets thrown into the heavy section of the Marvel DC bit. And if I do that, it's a little bit of a change for this. That isn't a problem. That's not a problem. So we'll see. But you are going to go back underneath. There is a Christmas tree and a pair of teddy feet. And we are going to see what we can do. Now, we have got 2 townhouses and a pet store that need to be thought about. So I think the townhouse, to be honest, will end up going in first, because nobody cares about the townhouses. So we will put the 2 townhouses together. But I will put the, about to say, I've had an accident brain. So careful. Still putting these in. Put the brown townhouse in before that one. And then we'll actually do the police station as well. Because obviously this police station did have the Gotham symbol on, because this was our Gotham PD. So there is potential that this could come back and have all the Batmobiles and stuff out the front of it, and yada yada yada. But at the moment, all depends on what next year is going to bring. So for now, that can just be good, spun and placed at the front, just there. Next one comes in. back there somewhere. That one's on front. Can they not be level? Oh, very strange. Okay, and a 32 by 32. What should we put beside it? Let's have a look and a reach. You can hear me making space behind. I am reaching for the Jazz Club. And there it is. Here it comes. And we are, I was about to say we're in, but we're not. We will be in a second. Alright, there we go. Fantastic, look at that. We like that. Just a random bit for no reason, falling off in a place now that I can't even reach. Why did you bother doing that for? That greenhouse can go straight back on, thank you very much. So it's that much of a tight fit, is it? Get on. Thank you. I am full stretch on that. There we go. So that is what that row looks like. And then obviously we can just, like I said, I'm not actually making a display up. I'm just seeing what's going on with these. Right, next one. So we got a full one. So the diner, the 60s diner, will have to come up regardless because I'm one short. So whatever happens in the new display, I do want that diner on show. Because that makes the most sense for Spider-Man stuff anyway. And then if I can do the police station, I'll do the police station. But we have got coming a corner garage, pet shop, and the Natural History Museum. So we'll do it the same way as what we've done at the top. We'll go long half corner. Because I have, oh, that roof. That's not good, not good, not good, not good. I'm moving these over a loft ladder. If that goes, I'm stuffed. There we go, look. Oh dear. Get on, get on. Oh, that could have been a lot worse. It's split 3 ways. And that's that bit. That's that bit. And we push that down and hope for the best. Right, that's there. There's the tree. Clue where that's supposed to go. Not got a clue. Like I said, not wasting any time on it. So in it goes. And if they can be rectified and saved, they will be. And obviously, if I can make these work. Because each one of these I can use in a theme park setting. That's the crazy thing. I can use them, but I've just not been able to because of space and them being too close together and whatever else. So this is literally either going to be like our Hollywood backlot or it's our entrance, like I said. So that's that. We've got those at the bottom. and then these at the top. And now potentially Batman, anything, Gotham PD. But the 60s over there is the one that is going to be used. Now, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with the Harry Potter? If it doesn't fit on that bit, so it has only got 2 places it can go, hasn't it? It goes just there. Well, it does go in the one over. Let's put it on the inside just there and see what happens. Because I don't know. Now I've made some space, I can actually move the bits over, which is what I'm doing gently currently. Actually, I'll turn you off. There we go, with a little bit of fiddling. And that light that is now stood up beside you, we are going to see what happens with that bit going in there, and if that will actually work. Very, very, very snug. Right. So that tucks in to the corner lovely. And you can see that holding that up. And then we put the next one on up top here. And then the alleyway, maybe. That looks like there's quite a big gap behind that, so I'm a bit concerned that's actually just going to fall off. So I'm not too sure if it's steps and staggered, isn't it? Because this one's brought forward more, so I've actually got a little bit more length. So I might have to support something on there, but let's see if we can get the so we can get that one over. So if that one goes in, so it's either got to go where it is or it gets brought in one. Because I could just have it up and then the rest of the stuff around it. But I think it might be quite nice if it was there and then the backdrop of this one was the new one maybe. And then the rest of it was lower and sort of all wrapped around, and then we built more up on that bit and threw it in there because there's lots of them. But I need to grab the set, so I'll grab that now and we'll hope for the best. Right, I know it's not going to fit with the dragon, but I just want to see how far off I am, because this one looks for whatever reason lower. Yeah, okay. Just take that whole piece off. Make it a little bit easier. I'll put that hole back on. Try that again. Hole does fit, yes. Right. Ah, this is so awkward. So, we got the option of it looking like that, or we got the option of it looking like that. But it fits. Needs a little bit of work for that green bit at the top, but the alleyway, it does, actually that can come right to the front like so. I think but yeah, so beside it would be the alley. Now if we wanted to try and connect the alley to this and make it look a little bit clever, we could potentially do that, but it would mean probably doing that. Now to be fair, I don't know if that makes more sense, because you see the door and then you've got the wall and then it goes off, and then behind it you have the alleyway. But I'm not too sure of the... Oh, you can see it. So maybe we do that. The dragon obviously gets put down to the bottom because it's got the feeding station down at the bottom, and then we put the rest of the set up top. So that's the last thing to do then. We just need to put those 4 bits in and then we're done. Really ought to make myself some room first, but I can't be bothered. Should we just try it? We might try it. We might give it a go. So you're just gonna wait there. This dragon and its wing. Is it on the Technic? Yeah, it's on a Technic piece, isn't it? That needs to be put onto a table. Oh, that could be down there walking, so that would look okay. But then it's the question of what this bit's going to look like. Sorry, you're going to have to go there because I'm going to stand on you. Because I'm doing this really awkwardly. But once these bits are in, it's not going to be touched for 2-3 months. What are we now? We're in November now, so yeah, not going to be until next year, so we've got another 2 months minimum until I get back round to doing this. How much does that overhang? Enough it's going to tip off. Interesting. That nearly went absolutely flying. Alright. I am now thinking, do I just do... Can I? Possibly. I'm gonna get all of them on there like that. It does look pretty cool, the light going through it though, doesn't it? See, a little bit of light makes a huge difference. Right, I am going to break my neck. As you can see, where I am, it's not ideal. So, we'll carry on with this in a day or two. I just need to get rid of these base plates. I need to be where these base plates are. And that's my diorama from the Death Star, which just needs to be taken apart. I'm going to use these so I can fold them up. These instruction booklets are actually going to be coming out this year anyway. And they're going to go into storage. So I'm going to have underneath this table completely clear as well. But that won't be in this video. But obviously this isn't long enough to get all 4 of them on. I don't know if it's going to be awkward to try and get... I've done the one, I might as well try the other. You know what I'm like. Let's get that one. The hard knock alley. Because I might have more space than I thought. And I might actually be able to do something over here with these. But for now, that can just go there. That can be put up. I am going to clear some space. Ooh, it's annoying. I can definitely do something nice with it. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do an alleyway. Because if I could actually see the alleyway quite nicely there. So leave it with me. I will make some space and we'll do it in a day or two's time. A little bit of space has been made, just enough for me to stand where I need to, and then I've got to pick up the pieces, which I do believe how that's got there is a bit of the Daily Bugle on the floor. Pass. Now, two things. First off, obviously we know what we're going to be doing to complete this video, which is going to be getting the other bits and pieces in for that. This looks great as you come up the loft ladder, because as I open it up and turn the light on, that is the first thing I see. But I am having second thoughts of it being there. I'm going to pull just that bit out and put it back in what is going to be our sort of diorama thrill seeker type thing, because I do want to have multiple rides up there, and it kind of doesn't make sense having a set that not many people can put together. And I have the opportunity of putting it together with it on, and I haven't done it for ages. So we know the diner's going to come out. I'm going to take that out. Those two sets will go in here. And obviously what I can do is just have like a little zone with a couple of the Harry Potter characters around, and it's just part of the ride, because it's going to, excuse me, it's going to be a big diorama thing. It's so cold up here, it's making it cough. So obviously all of this is going to be chopped and changed. This is staying as is. Potential for the red coaster to come over. Now the red coaster can go in two places. Those two places are directly behind the Daily Bugle and everything, and the actual roller coaster symbol is facing the Batman, so you see it when you first come up, and then potentially that then links into Jurassic Park section. That is eating in a fair bit, or it goes at the back, or we just leave plenty of space because it's going to be all open for what's going to be hopefully a rather large roller coaster coming, or another amusement park ride coming in 2026. And because obviously that has been damaged, I don't know if you caught how I did that, I can't remember what one it was, but all of those pieces are still on there. That is all going to get repaired because well, the camera fell off and it didn't end well. So we'll be starting across all of this in the next few uploads, and just creating I'm going to have a 16 by 16 path. I'm going to go back into a mix, I think, of road and path, depending on where they're going. Like a hybrid of when you first come into the Universal Parks, where it's just the road, or basically how they've got it at Universal Florida, where it is pretty much a road going round. We can mix it with a bit of yellow lines for New York, a bit of white lines for other little bits and pieces as well. So it does mean that I will be actually making these a lot wider, taking them all off and then doing them. And I'm probably actually going to do that first, because we can go by the actual base plates that are down, and then we can basically figure it out from there, which is nice and exciting. So there is a good plan for this, but I need to grab those two. So there is a reason why I'm waffling on and standing here, because those two are the last buildings for the Harry Potter. Now I think what we can do is, because the other reason why I've now decided to keep the Gringotts Bank up is because we're going to do the same thing with the Ghostbuster Firehouse. And again, the Ghostbuster Firehouse is a standalone ride in Dubai, and then literally beside it was a Green Lantern, and then beside that was like a water ride. So each, basically like every two base plates, it was a completely different theme. You didn't even walk into a different land. So that's where I got the inspiration from for this. And it does also allow me, if I want to add in some of the Fast and Furious Speed Champion vehicles and just have them dotted in here as well. But again, different time, different date, different problem. So we are going to have to play a bit of tag, because we are going to need to pull this out. Now again, the car then can stay over here, and these can come out, because I think these with the winter stuff would look okay. And obviously it'd just be a little alleyway on the side. Didn't want to do that. But I think the bank on the track, just around here somewhere, with a nice little bit of breathing space, I think would work very, very, very well. And then I've got to make the decision of I knew that's going to happen. What I was going to do with the train track, because as you can see, that train track is actually balancing on half a base plate at the back, which isn't even part of. So we are now going back round to here, and I am going to have to take the bank out, and then
just basically play swap, which is fine because we've got the space. We've got the space to do that. And then, like I said, I now actually have, from the time this been done, just over 2 months until I will then figure out what it is I'm going to do with this section and how I'm going to put it all together and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, we've got plenty of time. So the stand can stay there because, well, that's not causing anybody any grief whatsoever. But we've got to figure out what we are actually going to do with this, because I do like the thought of this being just there. So when you come up, you can just see that part, and then as it wraps round, you go through. So you have got the opportunity for the alley. If not, it would have to go at the bottom on the other side. But I think that should be okay. But we'll have a bit of a play. But key thing is I couldn't get down here before. It's still difficult with how the loft ladders are. Will that fit between the table legs to start with? No. So that's our first problem. There's a table in the way. Didn't think of that, did I? So, problem number one, not ideal. However, it goes there. We can make an alley on this bit because we can overhang forward and we can overhang backwards. And you can obviously clearly see the front door. And then we'll have to put a path behind it. And this could be the divide, but this is my problem. Look, I've got all of these bits for the loft ladders, and this is the bit that I'm trying to do. So it'll tweak. I'll think about it over a period of time. You need to stay, you balance there. So that's what you'll see. And then again, obviously we can make this basically as wide as we want. So if we wanted to have a 15 stud gap, then we can do. If we wanted to make it wider in the middle, we can. I think this is actually quite a nice place to look down an alleyway. It's a little bit darker, but it allows me to have it back as the alley that I really like, rather than it being open. And again, there is potential that we could hide the shadow box off from this. So we have the alleyway, and then we have the shadow box, but I think that shadow box will actually fit on the table. And don't forget, none of these are all full of instructions. All of this is going over Christmas. I've got a new storage place for that. But you can see, obviously, you had a little strip of LED lights up at the top. You're fine. I might have a little bit of a tinker and play with the configuration of what maybe looks nicest on that side, because obviously you've got all the different wanted posters and pictures, and it just needs a good clean. But yeah, if we wanted to come open to give it a bit more light, we could do. Now, in all fairness, one of the best this has ever looked is when it was in the middle over here years ago when we were doing a live stream, and we basically had the modulars, and then it was the alley, and the modular carried on, and the alleyway, because that table was deep enough, had the path to get to the houses behind. That looked great, but obviously with these things being so big, that can't happen anymore. So, for the sake of purpose of what this upload's been about, we're done. All of the Winter Village stuff is now moved. That's all being tinkered and repaired and all that kind of stuff, ready to go and display downstairs. Obviously, keep your eyes peeled for the live stream of the shadow box, because when the shadow box is built, obviously that'll all be in and done. The Super Mario, we've got options with regards to where that can actually live and go. And of course, well, we have got base plates that we can add down, and we can add quite a lot of vehicles into there. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't think that would look anywhere near as good as what it does. That is a lot more eye-catching there than the Winter Village, because it's bigger, and obviously I've got this loft hatch in the way, but I can see it when I'm walking up the loft ladders. And straight away, just putting those there, you can see for scale, that is part of the Winter Village bits and pieces. Scale-wise, it's going to work great here. And I have got this whole front, 2, 3, if I wanted, all 4
with the space for the next Harry Potter, which I think would look quite nice coming off. Now, there is a possibility, again, that it could just go hidden, tucked in that corner. And we have a lot of the minifigures, and I could potentially try and put it as like an L shape, but I'll try that again as I just had a coughing fit. We will figure that out at a later date because we've got plenty to do. Now, Death Star box needs to move. I need to do a comparison with the AT-AT. That gets flat packed, that gets away, that's all neat and tidy. The floor's a mess because they're lives, that won't be too long until it's neat and tidy again. And obviously we started showing off all of these bits and pieces, and that's going to carry on wrapping round, so I can get that neat and tidy over here. And then, yeah, we're just coming into this bit, which looks, honestly, looks a lot worse than what it actually is. There's so much space on this section. Once this is well underway for the actual live stream, we should be okay. So yeah, alleyway looks nice there. It doesn't look silly. Just got to sort of make it merge in with some of the other winter bits if possible. If not, maybe it goes down at the bottom just there and everything else is then wrapped around it, because there's potential that it could actually fit there as well. And then it flows into something else, so it's sort of at the bottom. Whereas I was saying about putting Harry Potter to the other side of it, you're not really going to see it. Whereas that went down at the bottom, you'd obviously have to, you could then see down into the alley. It wouldn't be as dark. And then that potentially leaves a Harry Potter Christmas display off the alleyway. And then you've got all the actual normal Winter Village stuff up and over. And then these two could potentially lead into something else underneath that table. So saying that out loud, that probably makes more sense. But until the bits and pieces are made up and we're starting to put them back in, it can just live there now for the next couple of weeks. What are we now? We are the day after the live stream of the Star Trek Enterprise. So if you want to backdate when this is being filmed, this obviously isn't going to be moved until well after Christmas. So you might get a bunch of these uploaded at the same time, but sometimes there's a lot of gaps between, everything. So I'll carry on tinkering. Let us know what you think. Don't think it's time to wish everybody a Merry Christmas because it is still early, but this might be uploaded in December, so Merry Christmas to everybody. And yeah, we'll play catch up when the Winter Village stuff comes up. I think I'm going to leave that bottom shelf for Harry Potter. I think that might be best. But will it fit? I don't think it will. I'm going to have to try it quickly, aren't I? There's a reason why. We're not just dragging this out. So, we have a problem, as always, is there's a skirting board at the bottom on an angle. Whereas on this one, obviously it's just overhanging the table. This is actually set further forward than what this one is. So I don't know if it's actually possible to get this in on the floor. And something's just gone flying down the lock hatch, but different problem, different upload. So the nice thing is about me doing these bigger dioramas is that all these vehicles we're going to have space for. So the shadow box is just going to be either hidden or it might be included in that display. So I know I've said that a couple of times. But this, for example, oh, this is so beautiful on the back, it really is. Actually timber it over. Can we get two of these in? So I'm just grabbing the first two. Otherwise, we won't have a choice. Oh, well, hang on. It fits. I'm lucky. It's got an overhang, but the actual same overhang is fine. So both of those looking like this. It's a lot brighter, and actually you can see it much clearer when you come up the loft ladders as well. So maybe we can put something a little bit bigger up on this side. So as I'm doing this, what one do we prefer? What do we want at the front? Do we want the green one? So the ones, yeah, you got Daily Profit.
because that will just stay as is for now. So I think the green's a little bit too dark for my liking, so I think we're going to go, I'm going to push that one down. I like the look of the, yeah, we'll go this colour combination for here. Pull that one out. Put the next one in, and then we're done. Nice way to end the video. That's a good starting block for next year for where that winter Harry Potter will end up going, because that will be got at some point on double points and everything else, because it's full-blown theme park and it's part of the Winter Village, so you can't really go wrong. There we go, there we go, there we go. Now, yeah, we've got plenty of opportunity to make that a little bit wider. I'll get off the loft ladder so I don't break my neck. Need to stand out the lighting so you guys and girls can see. That's it. Yeah, that'll work. That works fine there. Carry on with the Harry Potter across the back. And then add in one or two smaller Winter Village bits. So yes, that was a long-winded way of doing it. We know what the plan of attack is for the next couple of videos, so keep your eyes peeled for those. But if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and have a good next one.